they will be our host in Bogota, and we will be staying in a 3-star hotel in Bogota. So, and most of the cricket playing nations, they stayed there. It's a very new hotel, and so I think, and very safe hotel. And while we'll be staying in Bogota, we'll be visiting 2 archaeological sites. One is known as Mahastangarh, and the other is Paharpur. So you will get a sense of archaeology of Bangladesh, and I think Bogota trip will be fun. So, and we'll be staying there for 2 nights and 3 days, and then in the later part of our program, we'll be going to Sylhet. Sylhet is in the northeastern part of our country where there are tea gardens. So we will be visiting those tea gardens, and while in Sylhet, we will also be visiting our national forest, which is known as Lawachora National Forest. And one interesting thing of that trip to Sylhet will be that we will be visiting 2 tribal communities there. One tribal community is known as Khasi, and the other tribal community is known as Manipuri. So while in Sylhet, we will be meeting the tea garden workers. We will get an idea about the life in the tea gardens. We will also get an idea about the rainforest in Bangladesh and the wildlife in Bangladesh, and then we will be getting a sense of 2 tribal communities in Bangladesh. So I hope that, and we'll be staying there in a tea resort. So I hope that there are some bungalows there on the hilltop. So I personally stayed there on 2 occasions. I am pretty confident that you will like the accommodation there. So and while in Bangladesh, there will be few formal dinners, and we will not always be eating our dinner and lunches at our hotels. We will be eating our dinners and lunches in different places, not in the same place. So that will also be, I think, good for you. So up to this point, I think, I would give the floor to Mr. Tom Seville if he would add something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the stuff you received from Debbie and from the others about Bangladesh and general preparation is very good. So first of all, I recommend that everyone read that carefully because you do have a lot of excellent information. Debbie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know, have you got the International Student ID cards for the K students? Okay.
We did, thank you.
Okay.
Very much.
And each of those, I'll go over this real quickly for the benefit of the people who aren't at case or here. Besides having your card, that'll also have a description of the supplemental insurance coverage, and there's some other little items in there, and they are good for discounts. I don't think that honestly that makes much difference in Bangladesh, but the card is yours to use for a year, so if you travel to Europe or even within the United States. But the reason we do it is it provides supplemental insurance for things like lost baggage and evacuation or things like that if needed. And there's information on the website for that. We will also be providing, I probably can't see it, but we will be providing each of you, Debbie, with a photo list of just the names and photos of everyone. It's a reasonable sized group, and that'll make it easier for everyone to know. Okay, we'll be sending you an updated one, actually. Yeah, we'll send you an updated one because we're still missing some. So we'll send, as we are still missing the photos, as we finish those off, we will send it to you, and it'll be as a PDF file. And then another thing, Debbie, I don't know if we've talked about.
Dr. Mukherjee joined us.
Yes. Just finished this class.
Yes.
And I think you guys talked before last meeting about security. One thing I just wanted to give you a sort of a show and tell. This is the kind of safety belt you wear underneath your clothes to have your passport, money, and usually a credit card or a debit card. This one is actually from Rick Steves.
It's very dirty. You can get.
Yeah. No, it's not. Probably needs to be washed though. This particular one from Rick Steves is silk, which is actually nice because it's very thin. But you can find similar ones from Walmart and places. Those tend to be polyester, so frankly, if you're in a warm, humid environment, Bangladesh would be, they tend to get a little uncomfortable, so finding one that's cloth or something it would help. I'm not going to talk too much more about that, because I know you guys have talked about it, and there's questions we want to do about that. We are, I do receive daily updates on everywhere in the world from the State Department and from an organization that monitors activities around the world. I'd have to say Bangladesh has been pretty quiet for a while. India, of course, has been in the news, but that's a very long ways away. It's a very, very different situation, but we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout, as I'm sure Debbie does as well, if there are problems. We don't really anticipate anything at this time. It's been pretty quiet. You're going to have very, very good security. You're going to be in areas that are very, very comfortable, I think. But I think they're going to get you outside of that into some areas that are villages, that are probably areas that, because we do want to stretch your comfort zone here. We don't want you all to be in Western hotels. So, I guess that's basically it. So anything else, I don't want to repeat things that you guys have already talked about, or I know you have a lot in the information you've already provided.
Does anyone have any questions for Tom? He's our expert on travel abroad, so he's the person to ask. Okay.
Well, I guess one other thing I always say, it always takes longer to get to the airport than you think. So, particularly in winter, you know, see, sometimes you say, oh, 2 hours, that's what, I don't need that. Well, you know, if you shoot for 3 hours, you might make it. In winter is when we're most likely to encounter problems with delayed flights and things. And you know, if you've got to the airport and you've checked in, they'll get you to where you want to go. It may be a delay, but they will get you. So do allow plenty of time. I know it's a little boring to stand around airports. And when I was a student, I used to wait to the last possible minute when I was leaving a country. And after a while, I realized my stress levels were much better when I sit there for a couple of hours. And you know, they have nice things in the airport, and it's just a lot more relaxed. And particularly going out, you'll be a lot more relaxed. And it does actually make a serious difference in how much jet lag you get. If you come to the airport and you're stressed out like crazy because everything's the last minute, that's your heat, by the way. You'll have a hard time relaxing, you'll have a hard time sleeping. So, you know, we want this to be a productive experience for you. And I usually tell people, plan as though you're leaving one day ahead of the time you're actually leaving. And get all the things packed, get everything ready, and then that last day you're just relaxed and go there. Right?
That's a great suggestion. That's a great suggestion.
Mind you, I usually don't do that myself.